Alright, what's up, guys? This is NinjaDeathStrike,
Gun Monkey 696.
and we got a new set in Japanese, so you know what that means. Time for a set review. We're gonna go through everything, starting with Turtwig. No, guess we'll start with Torterra.
All the way down. Okay. Torterra, there we go. So guard press 60 for grass and 2 colorless, and then during your opponent's turn, any damage done to this Pokemon is decreased by 20. Rumble Stomp 80. Flip a coin. If you get tails, this attack does 20 more damage times the number of heads. So you flip a coin and keep flipping heads. You can do as much damage as you want,
Uh-huh.
which is good. He's alright. It's nothing great, but
Yeah,
he's
I,
alright.
I think it's, I don't know, I think he's pretty bad. 4 retreat cost and
Yeah.
4 energy to attack. Just really forgettable, especially with
Yep.
so many other things that have cool powers in this set. No one's gonna care about
Right.
him. Alright then, next will be Cherim.
Cherim. Okay, so Weather Heal. Choose one of your Pokemon that has a grass energy attached to it and heal 20 damage from it. You may only use this ability once per turn, so it doesn't stack with other Cherims. I think so. That's what it means, right?
I think it might just be you can only use that Cherim's ability once. I'm not
So
exactly
let's
sure.
really quickly look up Electric.
Alright.
See what exactly the text is. Okay, so Electrics, Dynamotor. Once during your turn, you may attach lightning and discard. So yes, it's once during your turn on Electric.
So
Doesn't
it does
mention
stack
the
then.
ability.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about if Cherim stacks because Cherim mentions the ability. It says you may only use this ability once, whereas Electric says you can only use the Pokemon
Yeah.
once. I
We'll
guess
probably have
that's
to
what
wait
it's
for a
referring to.
translation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but anyway, if it stacks, it could be really great for a grass tanking deck. If it doesn't, it's just very not going to get used at all.
And
And then random pack 20 plus flip 2 coins is attacked with 20 more damage for each heads, which is just alright.
yeah,
Nothing great.
it would never be attacking.
Yeah.
Main problem is there just aren't any good grass attackers. So
Yeah.
I don't think that. I mean, that pretty much kills it. If it's stacked, yeah, it might have potential, but even then, it's a stage 1 with 70 HP. So
It's just nothing too great,
yeah.
fortunately.
Um. Okay, next Maractus. Man, how many crappy versions of this thing are they gonna force on us? There's like 4 or 5 different versions. None of them are good, so we can skip right past him.
Um, okay, I guess Among Us.
Yeah.
Astonish, flip a coin of heads, choose 3 cards from your opponent's hand without looking, reveal them, then have your opponent shuffle them into his or her deck. That's pretty strong. And then Miracle Powder, 30, flip a coin, if heads, choose 1 special condition, the defending Pokemon is now affected by that special condition. That's actually a pretty strong card.
Yeah. I don't know. It's cool. I just think I don't know. I don't know when you would use it.
Honestly, I think it's not going to be definitely. It's not going to be on every deck. But
Yeah.
if you can get turn 2 Among Us, Astonish, and start just discarding 3 cards as long as you get ahead, that could be very effective. However, I don't know. It's flippy and
I
it
think
requires the attack.
I
So,
mean, it'll be gimmicky. It won't be.
yeah,
It'll never be in a real deck, but it's definitely has potential to be in a gimmicky deck that's a lot of fun
it's
because
just
its
like
attacks
the
are usable. Yeah.
yeah. It's going to be like you pair this with like Hooligans, Jim and Cass, and
Yeah.
just go to town with like crushing hammer flips and trying to
Discard
piss off your
everything.
opponent.
Yep.
And, it's alright.
Okay. Next, Infernape. It's a plasma
Okay.
Pokemon. For those of
Yeah.
you guys who don't know, any of these cards that have the blue border around them mean that they're Team Plasma Pokemon, which there's a whole bunch of cards coming out to support those. So
We'll get down to them in a sec. But
yeah.
yeah, it just means they're like affected by certain energy in certain trainers. So Torment does 30 damage, choose 1 attack on the defending Pokemon. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't use that attack, which is, I guess, alright, but honestly, never going to be using that. Second attack does 120, you discard all energy attached to this Pokemon, and that's only for 1 fire and 1 colorless. So, that's actually really great second attack. is super cheap. However, you have to discard all the energy off it, which is going to mean it's going to be pretty hard to do it next turn. Um, it's definitely good though.
It just seems like a worse Reshiram to me.
Yeah,
Same hit points. The first attack is worse, and the second attack is almost the same. It's a little cheaper on Infernape, but
yeah, it's
yeah,
just a
Reshiram
little
is
bit different,
basic.
but yeah,
So
something great.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Next. Oh, first EX. Victini EX.
Okey-doke, so Energy Turbo, one fire, search your deck for two basic energy cards, attach them to your bench in any way you'd like, and then Rising Burn does 50, the turning Pokemon is an EX, it does another 50. Its first attack is actually really strong, be able to just accelerate from anywhere out of your deck.
Yeah.
It's not even from your hand, so there's literally no way you're not going to be able to use that attack. You don't have to have things in your discard, you don't need to have things in your deck. As long as there's energy in your deck, you can use it,
Yep.
which is really great. It does require, it's not colorless, so you're going to need to have at least some prisms or something in there, or a blend, which isn't that big a deal, but the biggest deal is that it's only got one 10 HP and it's going to be giving away two prizes, so
Yeah.
it's just, if it was just a standard Pokemon, you probably could run it in almost any deck.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's an EX, you're probably going to have to find out some way to use it effectively.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people are really mixed about this card. I don't see it. The first attack is amazing. Accelerating 2 energy out of the deck is just really strong, but that's kind of the only thing it has going for it. It's got 108, like you said, 110 HP, gives up 2 prizes, and it's pretty much a bench sitter. The second attack does 50 damage plus 50 more if it's an EX. It's not even as good as Bouffalant, who's not an EX Pokemon. It could have at least done 60, so it could two-shot stuff with a Violite if it did 60 and 120, but it doesn't even do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's there's too many cons to really make it worth playing it, even for that first attack. So I don't think it's going to be that great, but I don't know. Could be
First
wrong.
attack is great, but then
Yeah.
they just kind of took a shit on the rest
Yeah.
of the card, made everything as bad as it could possibly be for
Yeah.
it. So,
And it does have an ace spec that goes with it, but I don't even think that's going to be enough to bump it up into being playable. But we'll see when we get down to there. We'll talk about that.
all right.
So next, we have another monkey. We got a ton of these things too. Simisear.
Yeah, nothing major. 40 plus. This attack does 20 more damage for each fire attached to him. It's pretty much like a worst Gothitelle.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yep. Heatmore, we don't care about either. It's not.
Okay. Yeah, let's just skip all the
Yep.
ones that really aren't going to be playable.
So next, we get the first really good card, I think, Articuno
Articuno.
EX.
Okay, so Articuno is Team Plasma Pokemon, and its first attack's Blizzard, 60 damage, does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's actually really good for a first attack, but its second attack, Frost Prison, 80 damage, and if this Pokemon has a Plasma energy attached to it, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. So if you can get Plasma attached to this Pokemon, if they don't have switches, or if you use some way to shut off their items, they will not be getting that thing out of the active.
Yep.
They can't attack you, they can't retreat, they just have to sit there turn after turn while you do 80. If Vileplume was still in the format, this card would probably be more broken than Mewtwo, but at the moment there's still items
Yeah.
that could get around it. It's just still going to be a really great card.
Yeah, I mean, even with that, you have to hit the items. Like, I think this card is going to make playing Enhanced Hammer mandatory.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, and just the plasma energy in general being so strong. Yeah, just constant perilous with no need to discard or shuffle in or anything is ridiculous. You know, even if you play Force Switch, okay, it's
Honestly,
still
like,
don't think it's gonna matter.
it's no junk arm.
Yeah.
It's just...
So this card is I mean, I can't say it's really good, but I think it's gonna be really good.
Even
So,
if the Plasma went back into the deck or something, it'd still be really good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
yeah,
So,
and like even like you can get turn 2 Blizzard pretty easily, and there's Colress Machine to just search out your plasma energies. So I think this is probably one of the best cards in the set.
Yep. It's
So
really, really good, especially when compared to Zapdos and
yeah.
Lapras. But anyway,
Next
okay.
one is going to be Ludicolo.
So Ludicolo's ability, Rain Dish, between turns it heals 20 from that Pokemon, and then Gleeful Dance. 70 damage, you may discard an energy card attached to this Pokemon. If you do, the defending Pokemon is now confused. Yeah, nothing great. Slow,
Yep.
and it's not good enough.
It's if the attack was a water and a DCE, it'd be a lot better.
Yep.
We will have Blastoise at this point, so that's good. But it's stage 2. It doesn't even have enough HP, I think, to really make that ability worth it. Like, okay, you heal 40 in a round, but everything does 90 or more, so you still just get two-shotted by everything, which is too bad. If it healed, like, I don't know, 30 damage between turns or something, it would have been
Yep.
good. It's close, it's just not quite good enough.
It's weird. It even has like a lightning weakness. Even the actual Ludicolo doesn't have a lightning weakness, and that
Yeah.
just absolutely kills it
Yep.
because you're going to be one-shotted against every Eels deck. So
Yeah. Okay, next, Manaphy.
This Pokemon is knocked out by your opponent. You may search your deck for one card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. And then Seafaring. Flip 3 coins for attach a water energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. It can be a really good starter in a lot of water decks.
Yeah,
It's actually a really good Pokemon.
mainly in Blastoise, I think that's going to be
Yeah.
the water deck. And yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. It gives Blastoise something to do turn 1 that I don't think it'll have when it releases right away. There might be a water Pokemon I'm forgetting about that would be useful turn
Melodic.
1, but
At least on turn 2. You could even use this turn 1 while you set up a Melodic, come in, and then get 3 items you need to just absolutely destroy them on turn 3.
yeah. But
So many good water attacks.
yeah, I think this is a really good card, so I like it a lot.
Right.
Next,
What's the
Beartic.
next one? Beartic. Nothing major. 20 times does 20 damage times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. I guess that's good.
Yeah.
And then 90 damage and discard the top card of your opponent's deck. His first attack's good. It's 130 HP, so if they can't one-hit KO you, they could be in some trouble. It's not weak to lightning, which is good. Yeah, it's actually alright.
Yeah, it is like right now. Steel's a really good weakness, but I have a feeling once the set's out, it might not be as good as it is now because of some of the
Water and-
stuff we're getting.
Water and metal.
Yeah.
God,
Um,
just a bit.
any kind of outrage attack is always good though. The main problem is with catcher, it's just a lot easier to play around. It's kind of why Regigigas sucked so much. Like with the dragons, it's really nice because they have outrage and then they have another really fantastic attack, and that's a lot of stuff that has the similar attacks just doesn't really have that to fall back on. So I don't think Beartic will be anything
It's
special.
a less Curum
Yeah.
in most ways.
Yep. Next, Magnezone, another card that's getting a lot of hype.
Okay, Magnezone. So Double Brain. You may play 2 supporters, but in your turn instead of 1, which is awesome. And then Gyro Ball does 80, and you switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and your opponent must do the same. It's good. Its first attack is nothing major, but just the ability to play 2 supporters is huge, and you can pretty much get set up. Once you've got this thing out, you should have no problem doing everything your deck wants. So that's good.
Yeah, I think that's the main problem though. Like once you get the card out, it's still it's still a stage 2, and it actually like doesn't help you get out of a supporter drought at all. You know, if you have one, it's nice. You can play 1 and 2. I think the biggest combo would be something like Skyla and then a draw supporter, a search and draw. I mean, the ability's definitely good, but I don't know. I think Magnezone Prime was actually better than this guy.
I think definitely.
Because Magnezone, like, it didn't matter. With this one, you have to have 2 supporters in your hand to make use of the ability, whereas Magnezone would help you out of a lot more situations. Magnezone Prime. So I don't know. It's good. I'm not going to completely write it off, but I'm definitely not sold on it yet. So we'll have to wait and see.
Honestly, its attack just does nothing. It's got 3 retreat cost, which is huge.
Yeah.
So it's huge catch a target. Its attack is bad. Magnezone Prime's attack was so good. This card just doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And then 2 supporters, like it's good, but you're not going to want to use supporters every turn. There's definitely turns where you don't even need a single supporter.
Yeah.
So
it's like
it's going to be good sometimes, but then other times you're just going to be like, why do I have this on my bench? The second they catch it up and stall.
Yeah, I think the main issue I have with it is it's a card that helps you set up quickly that requires you to set it up.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong, but anyhow. Next, we have Rotom. Definitely,
Rotom.
This card's definitely worth talking about.
Yeah. So Team Plasma Pokemon, it's a Lek bonus. Discard 1 Lightning Energy from your hand and draw 3. And then Poltergeist does 20 damage. Look at your opponent 20 times damage. Look at your opponent's hand. This attack does 20 times the amount of trainers you find there. Really good. First attack is going to be awesome in every Eels deck. It's probably going to be playing in almost every single Eels deck just because it's the perfect combo.
Yep.
We don't have too many great starters at the moment. You can use something like maybe Virizion or a Mulga, but without anything like Cleffa and Smeargle, this is just going to be a really great card. And its second attack is huge. It's not going to be used as much, but in a pinch, if you need to go times 20, everyone runs half their deck as trainers at the moment. So you're going to be doing like oftentimes going to be doing 60 damage.
There's also Colress Machine to give you the potential to attack with Poltergeist. If you go first and get Colress Machine and then attack while your opponent still has possibly 6 cards in their hand, I mean, that's just going to... You could hit for a lot of damage on turn 1. 40 very easily, and even 60, 80 wouldn't be out of the question. So...
And also, is it just Colress, the supporter we're getting?
Yeah.
Hands are going to be huge.
Yep.
So we're going to have like 10 cards and the potential for like half of them to be supporters. You can do 100 damage for 2 energies while also having a really great other attack. So
yeah, this card's really good. I mean, I'm assuming Eels is still going to be a deck. Like, I just assume Eels is going to be a deck for as long as they're in the format because they're really good. So
it's too good.
I see this fitting right into there. Next is going to be Crobat.
So Crobat Stage 2 Team Plasma Pokemon. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may draw a card, which is alright. And then Deadly Poison Fangs does 40. The defending Pokemon is now poisoned. Put 4 damage counters on it instead of 1 between turns. Kind of like Crobat Prime.
Yep.
The ability is really great, especially if you have multiple ones of them out. How is it? Are we getting that poison support? Is it stadium card?
Yeah, it's in Boundaries Crossed, Burbank City Stadium.
What exactly does that work with this? I can't really remember.
It puts, I think it puts 3 more damage counters from poison. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's 3.
Yeah,
so
that sounds about right. So anyway, if we're correct, that means we're doing 70 between turns.
Yeah.
Which means 90% of playable Pokemon are not going to survive 2 turns, and the only ones that are going to be KO'd for 2 prizes the next turn.
Yeah.
So really good. And yeah, Night Eyes is pretty good ability just to help you draw through your deck. So it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. I don't think it'll be tier 1, but I think it's good, especially as like a counter deck because obviously Plasma Frigate is going to get played a lot, I think, because it's ridiculously good. So having a counter stadium would be nice, and then there's built-in consistency, even though it's a stage 2. My only concern is the attack is kind of expensive, and that makes them a little bit harder to stream. You know, Crobat Prime, you only needed 1 energy to attack. You need 3 here. So that's a little bit worrying, and the lightning weakness.
Yeah,
But
the lightning weakness isn't great.
I still think it'll be a fun deck, even if it's not a really good deck. Definitely be one I want to try out. I like the picture a lot too. The card art's pretty cool. The background there.
It's like I'm pulling it up. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Okay, next we have Weezing.
Okay, so Weezing Aftermath. when this Pokemon is knocked out by an opponent's attack, discard the top 3 cards from his or her deck. And then White Smog, this attack does 20 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon. It's good. It could be cool in some sort of deck with it and like Aggron, I guess, but I honestly can't see it being anything major.
Yeah, it's just kind of a hodgepodge of cool things that don't really work together. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool card, but I don't.
If it had some milling attack, and
Yeah,
then you KO it and all your cards get that.
or if it had like some kind of self-destructing attack that would
Yeah,
force it to be KO'd, that'd be good too. But oh well.
doesn't do anything.
Yep. Next, we have Glade.
So
He's
Powerful Storm for double colorless does 20 times the amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon, so it's really good. And then High Speed Thrust, 80 damage. Your opponent switches defending Pokemon with one of his or her bench Pokemon. Second attack is alright, but I think its first attack is really where the power of this card lies.
Yeah.
It's really good. You can just absolutely power up everything on your bench. It's just for colorless, so it's kind of like
Yep.
Mewtwo.
Yep, it's real cheap. I think it's naturally meant to be paired with probably Gardevoir
Yeah.
because of Psychic Mirage. The only problem there is that you can only have like two, since you have to have both of them on the bench and they have the same evolution line. But yeah, the first attack is really good. It's just double colorless energy, so it's really easy to consistently charge up, and it's pretty strong. And it's actually splashable too, since it doesn't take a specific energy. Any deck that puts a lot of energy on the board could find some use for it. So yeah,
I think it's
interesting.
interesting. I'm sure that they did come up with it to be paired with Gardevoir, but I think something like Ambor, you go from doing like no damage to doing 200 damage in single turn. So
Yeah,
it's cool.
I like the picture on that one too. I don't know why he's chopping down a forest, but he seems
It's
pretty
angry.
determined to do it. All right, next Giratina.
Giratina, so it's a basic Team Plasma Pokemon. Hex, 50 plus damage if the defending Pokemon is affected by a special condition. Does an extra 50, which is cool. And then Shadow Claw, 90, discard a card from your opponent's hand without looking. It's alright.
Mm-hmm.
First attack is okay. Second attack is good, but super expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I think too. It's not like a Zekrom or but it's okay. The picture again is really cool. Looks pretty intimidating. But Giratina
I
just
don't know. This one or Giratina EX?
this one definitely.
The one with the dopey pants?
Yeah. That's like this one's retarded cousin.
We don't talk about him.
But yeah, it's too bad that it's actually not that good though.
Yeah.
It's cool at least. Next up, we have another Garbodor.
Nothing much. 20 damage. This attack does 20 times the defending Pokemon's retreat cost, which means it's about a max of like 80.
Yeah.
It's nothing major. And then 80 times damage. Flip 2 coins. Attack does 20 damage times the number of heads. It's alright.
Yeah. It is super pissed though. Probably because he's not any good.
Oh, he's angry.
Yeah. He's upset that he couldn't be the Dragon's Exalted Garbodor, who's actually good. Next, another Bayhem. Seems like we've got a million of these things too, and they're all bad.
Yeah. Its second attack is cool. Move 6 damage counters from any of your Pokemon to any of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's the equivalent of 120, which is good, but I don't know. I just think it's a little bit too situational.
Yeah, I think that the attack's a little too expensive too. 3 energy is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it. If it was like 90 instead of 60, it'd be awesome, because then you could just destroy eels. But yeah, just not cool concept. That's not really gonna work, I think.
I'd like to see it on a stage too, with like 150 HP and something like Reuniclus.
Yeah.
Where you just move everything around, chop them all into your opponent's side, and then just continually do it until they rage quit. It's cool.
Okay, next, Dawn Fan.
Okay, so spinning turn, 40 damage, and you switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and then 80 plus, if there's stadium in play, it does another 60, and you discard the stadium. It's really great because any stadiums that are being played are just going to be thrown away, which is cool. 40, its first attack pretty much nullified, that's a tree cost, which is cool. So yeah, I think it's a really good Pokemon.
I think the second attack costs 4 energy, so it's kind of that's
especially
just
in fighting decks.
irrelevant at that point, which is too bad because it is actually a really good attack, especially with lots of stadiums probably going to be played again. But yeah, just way too expensive, so that's too bad.
Yep.
Next, Lucario.
Okay, so dual armor. This Pokemon has a metal attached to it. It becomes both fighting and metal, which is alright. And then gusting leg, 60 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. It's not bad. It just isn't great.
I actually like this card a lot. I think it's got some potential to be at least a tech in some of the decks that are going to be out around this time. First off, fighting and steel is actually going to be pretty good typing to have. If it gets steel, it can get protection from EXs from the Plazma Kling Klang. And then fighting just kills a lot of types. So it's almost like a better version of Shaman EX, I think. It's a little bit more work to get out. It takes 3 energy, and it's a stage 1, but its typing is a lot better for just revenge killing things that you're going to want to kill. Like Articuno and Darkrai and electric stuff. So
yeah, he's right.
Yeah, I think he's got potential to actually see some play in real decks.
Okay.
Next, a Lipard, which actually has an attack that is not terrible.
So a Lipard is another Plasma Pokemon, and look at your opponent's hand. If there's a supporter in it, discard it, then use the supporter as the effect of this attack, which is huge. Fake out 30 for the coin as the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. I think you're going to be pretty much using the first attack.
Yeah.
The second attack. First attack's nothing much.
Clearly.
No, I'm joking. First attack all the way. It's just absolutely huge, especially the discarding.
Yeah, that's the
it's
major
a decent
thing.
Attack on its own.
Yep.
It's not horrible. But you pretty much get to use 2 supporters, so it's not horrible. And the fact that you also discard your opponent's card, it's like, oh, I'll just look in your hand. Oh yeah, I'll take that card.
Yeah. Like there's nothing that is bad about that attack. You get a second supporter, you get to discard, and you get to see your opponent's hand.
And it's colorless.
So I am actually really surprised that they gave such a crappy Pokemon such a good attack. It's like Watchhog having a super awesome attack. But yeah, I think that Lipard could get teched into some Darkrai decks. Can be a really big pain in the ass. I know I would not want to be on the receiving end of that attack.
It's just awesome for disruption.
Yep.
But at the same time though, I guess it depends with things like random receiver. If this card starts seeing some play, that'll probably rise in usage.
Yeah.
They've probably already used their supporter, so they might not be needing another one anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's still just a really great attack. So.
Okay. Next up, Scrafty.
Okay, kick away, 30 damage. His opponent switches his or her active with one of his or her bench Pokemon, and then Fortified Head, 50 plus. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool card attached to it, it does another 50. It's alright.
Yeah.
100. Honestly, they could have bumped that second attack up so much.
Could do. It could do 120 if you give it Dark Claw.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it's good, but
It's
I
still.
definitely think it could have been doing like 70 plus, or
Yeah.
maybe 60 and then another 60.
Yeah.
With Dark Claw. Anyway.
Plus, it's 90 HP and it's not a cheap attacker. It takes 2 colored energy, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. especially with so many good dark Pokemon to choose from. I don't know why anyone would pick him.
So there's just three ways they could have done it. They could have either made it plus more damage, they could have made it do more damage if it had a tool cutter on it, or they could have made it two colors and a dark, and they just decided they wouldn't give it anything. So sucks for poor Scrafty.
Durant, does it do anything that we care about?
Nah,
Okay, skip it.
think so. Yeah.
Okay, Cobalion EX.
Boleon, Holy Edge, 30 damage, choose one special energy card attached to the defending Pokemon, discard it, which is cool. And then Steel Bullet, 100, its attack damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any effects on the defending Pokemon. It's alright. Its first attack is really good, especially against things like Articuno.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good against Articuno. Could absolutely destroy Articuno if that thing becomes popular, which I'm sure it will. Second attack is a little bit lackluster, but still not bad.
The thing I do like about the second attack is it does hit through Eviolite. So it's guaranteed to hit KO on everything, which is nice. But it doesn't affect weakness, which kind of sucks because you can't take out things that are weak to it. It's pretty mediocre on its own. I think that, again, Kling Klang is going to make it playable. It's just going to kind of drag it up, whether it wants to come or not. Because having this thing with complete immunity to opposing EXs is a pretty big deal. But, yeah, on its own, it's kind of average.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
Next,
Druddigon.
Druddigon, the only dragon we got in this entire set.
That's really bad, honestly. They brung it like an entire set for dragons, but they did not give it a whole lot, so I'm surprised they didn't give them more dragons. But anyway, Guard Press, 20 damage, defending Pokemon, damage done to this Pokemon during the opponent's next turn is reduced by 20, which is nothing. And then Dragon Claw for 90, and a huge attack cost.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
But that's so, like...
You can't even...
weirdest.
And you can't even use Blend on it. Like, fire and water are on opposite blend energies, so... I guess you could use Prism, but...
90 for 4.
Yep.
And they're all different.
Yep.
Almost. You got 2 fire. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's terrible. Okay, then next. An interesting card. Clefable.
Moon Guidance. Flip a coin. If heads, search your deck for a Pokemon that evolves from one of your Pokemon and put it on top of it. You can evolve Pokemon that were played this turn, and then shuffle your deck afterwards. You may only use this ability once per turn, and its attack is nothing. It's cool. Really, really cool. I think the biggest part is the fact that you can evolve it the turn they were played, which means that you can pretty much have anything you want turn 2, even if you only just chucked it down. So it's kind of like Gabite, except it works in almost any deck. It's only a stage 1, I think.
Yeah, it is. And it's got 90 HP, so it's searchable by level ball.
Yeah, only stage 1, so I think it's really good. Definitely will see some play, because I think stage 2s and stage 1s are starting to come back a bit. And it's just going to accelerate those decks so much.
The only downside is it's on a flip, so you're probably going to need a couple of them. I could see them eating up bench space really quickly. And a lot of evolution decks need that space for their evolutions. So it might be a little hard to work in. It's a little bit inconsistent, but I still like it a lot. And I hope it's good. I think we could really use a card like this to give people some incentive to play evolution cards. So we'll have to wait and see.
I think that it's only really going to be used in decks that use stage 2 attackers, though, which is not a whole lot of decks at the moment.
Yeah.
Most decks are just going with basic attackers and then stage 1 or stage 2 support Pokemon, which you just don't have the bench space. And so I think unless you're trying to stream attackers, it's not going to see a whole lot of play.
Yep. Next, Dodrio. I don't even think we need to talk about it. It's just really bad. So then Snorlax.
If Snorlax is the active Pokemon, your opponent can't retreat, which is good. And then Team Impact for 5 colorless energy. You do 30 times damage. This attack does not This attack does 30 damage times the number of Team Plasma Pokemon you have in play. Really cool. I don't know if it's going to be anything amazing, but I definitely think it's cool.
Yeah. I think that the attack cost just killed it. 5 energy, really. Um, and on top of that, you can't really use any of the energy accelerators because they're not plasma Pokemon, so it's going to reduce your damage output. I mean, you could, but then you're not going to be doing as much damage. The ability is really good. Forces your opponent to burn switches like crazy. But, yeah, I don't think it's quite good enough. That attack cost is just crazy. So,
Yep.
love the picture, though.
Oh, it's the beast.
Alright, next. Togekiss.
So, Prideful Veil. If Togekiss is your active Pokemon, when your opponent uses an item card, all of your Pokemon are unaffected by any of its effects. And then return 30 damage, draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. That's only for 1 energy. Really good. It's stage 2, so I don't know. It's a little bit hard to get up, but so many item cards that absolutely destroy Pokemon. So if you can, I think it's definitely going to be in some sort of a deck. Yeah, I just think it's really, really cool.
I think my biggest thing is it's stage 2 that does 30 damage. Like, in order for the ability to work, it has to be active, which means you have to actually attack with it, which means you only get to do 30 damage. So, that kind of sucks.
I forgot about the active thing.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
you know, if it's got to be active, you may as well just use Gothitelle, because it's better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's too bad. If that attack did like 90 damage, even if it costs more energy, then we'd be in business, but as it stands, it's bad.
It could be used with something like Magnezone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
again, then why not just use Gothitelle?
yeah, I know, but I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it work.
I know, it's cool, the ability's really cool. They
It's
just
Magnezone.
they ruined it with the attack.
Yeah.
So, too bad.
Anyway,
Next,
so
Lugia EX.
okay, so Lugia EX Overflow. For each of your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from the Lugia EX's attack, you take 1 more prize. So it's like Deoxys Rayquaza. Is it Deoxys Rayquaza Legend? That we
Yeah.
had?
Yep.
The same ability. And then Plasma Gale, 120 for 4 colorless, and discard 1 plasma energy attached to this attack. Oh, this attack does nothing. Its ability is really good, as we saw with Deoxys thingy,
Yep.
Rayquaza Legend, but I'm not sold on its second attack. The fact that you can only pull it off a little bit, and it does only do 120, isn't great. It's definitely going to need some support, but I think with the right support, it could be huge.
I think it's really good. The thing, yeah, you can only use the attack 4 times maximum, but you only need it to use it 3 times to win the game. Because you've taken 6 prizes, even if you're not KOing EXs. I think a lot of people think that you're going to have to use it to, like, put it down and then finish off an EX and take 3 prizes, and I don't think that's the best way to use it. I think it's going to be picking off support Pokemon and still taking 2 prizes. That's really going to be why this thing is so good. On top of that, it's not too susceptible to like Enhanced Hammer or Garchomp and stuff because you have to discard the energy anyhow, so you can just play the energy when you need to attack, and then it'll be gone, so there's nothing for them to discard. It is weak to lightning, so that's not doing it any favors for sure. But I think it's really good, and if people play it right, it's going to be really strong. But I think a lot of people won't.
Yeah, I think Catcher absolutely makes this card twice as good as it ever could be.
Yep.
The
It's
fact
like,
that you can just capture out anything that's below 120 and take 2 prizes for it out of absolutely nowhere.
yeah,
Pretty huge.
I'm going to kill your electric for 2 prizes.
Yeah. I'm
And
just like, oh,
I don't even have to
just
bother
lost.
with your attackers. Yeah.
Yep.
So, really good. Next,
Okay.
Watchhog. Doesn't do anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No. Just skip.
So we're at the trainers. First one, probably the best, Colress machine.
Search your deck for a Plasma energy and attach it to one of your Team Plasma Pokemon. Shuffle your deck afterwards. It's really, really good, especially with things like Lugia, but any of the Plasma Pokemon are going to find use for it. Yeah, it's just really good.
Yeah,
Item.
it's so good. Like it's energy acceleration out of the deck in trainer form. I
Yep.
I can't even like wow. And then on top of
Got a lot
it,
of hype.
like
And
attaching the energy gives the Pokemon superpowers in most cases. So really, really good. Just really good. I think I did a top 10 list, like the top 10
I
best
saw that.
cards. I think this one was number 2. So,
After Lugia.
yep. No, I think actually Kolrez was my number 1 choice.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't remember. I remember I saw something.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Anyway.
it's so good.
Yep.
So, okay, next. Poison Hypnotic Beam.
The defending Pokemon is now poisoned, and if you flip a coin and its heads, it is asleep as well. One sec, I'll be back, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, so Poison, Hypnotic Beam. The defending Pokemon is now poisoned. Flip a coin, if heads, the defending Pokemon is also asleep. Really, really good trainer, especially with with the Poison supporter, the thingy gym.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
Bank
and
City.
with things like what was it? Crobat.
Yep.
It's just really support. Really good trainer. Sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a better plus power, I think. Which is good. I mean, plus power is good. Uh, I just don't know how it's ever going to fit into a lot of the other decks, but it's cool. It's unique. I like the fact that it's really random and unique. We don't have anything else that's quite like it. 25% chance to just not let them attack is cool, and then free poison. So yeah, it's good. I don't know how much play it'll see, but it could.
Yeah, there might be someone. You honestly could just chuck it in any deck if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's just like Tool Scrapper. You know, Tool Scrapper is kind of a better version of plus power, kind of, and this is kind of the same thing.
Yeah, especially in things like truck. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
Next.
now get on to probably one of the best cards in this set.
Yep.
Colress. Finally, they give us decent supporter.
Yeah.
We had Juniper ages ago, and we've been having
And
to
that's
use
it.
stupid things since then. N's obviously good, but it's really not. Doesn't have the draw support that things like Juniper and OCAD. It's
Yep.
just, this card is awesome. So, it's a supporter. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw the amount of cards up to the number of Pokemon on both you and your opponent's bench. Awesome. Means you can draw. I think it's a max of 10.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really good, and there's really no way to counter it. I mean, like, don't play down your Pokemon, but then you can't use it. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of like tactics going behind it. There might be a little bit of just not playing things down if you don't need to until you want to play them down to use yours. But for the most part, I think it's just gonna be a really good supporter that everyone can use.
Yeah. I mean, we needed shuffle and draw so bad, and we're finally getting it. Like 6 months from now, but we're finally gonna get it. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. I mean, it's just a really solid card. You know, I think a lot of people didn't realize how good Pont was until we didn't have it anymore.
So
Yeah, but just not being forced to throw away all of your rare candies or all of your catchers because you only have a Juniper, or being forced to discard 4 other supporters because that's all you have in your hand. Like, it's
it's
gonna be
just
so
so
good.
necessary. We
Yeah.
just needed it.
So then next one,
It's just gonna really speed up the game, I think.
yeah, Team Plasma
so-
Grunt.
Team Plasma Grunt, discard a Team Plasma card from your hand, then draw 4 cards. It's good. It's a supporter, though.
Yeah,
Which I honestly just think it's worth sharing. It does let you draw 1 more card, but you have to discard, and you have to have them in your hand.
yeah.
So,
I
honestly,
mean,
play Sharon, play Bianca. Don't play this.
we had Engineer's Adjustments last format, and that was a terrible supporter. And this is pretty much the same thing. and I don't think it'll be good. Even with the crappy supporters we have, like I still would not pick this one.
Yeah,
So
Sharon and Bianca are still better than
yep.
it.
Okay, next Plasma Frigate, our stadium.
Okay, so all Pokemon that have Plasma Energy attached to them have no weakness. It's really good, especially with Lugia, because Lugia is weak to lightning. But anything that just has a reasonably common weakness, you can chuck this in and just make that card a whole lot more playable. So
Yep.
yeah, it's just really solid.
Articuno, I think, is the biggest, like, because it has to have the Plasma Energy anyhow to work. So why not just give it no weakness? Uh, with Lugia, you have to discard the
Yeah,
Plasma
sorry,
Energy.
I wasn't
So
really thinking.
I mean, I guess if you had more than one, but then you're running the risk of getting hammered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just really good. Hey, your Pokemon can have no weakness. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
So good. Think it'll definitely see play. Next up, Plasma Energy.
It's just the energy that Plasma Pokemon
Yeah,
need to
I
attack.
mean, there's not
It's
really a
nothing
whole lot to
comes
say
up
about
as
it.
energy.
Yeah, it's all the other stuff that uses it. So after that, Scramble Switch.
Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, then you may move any number of energy attached to that Pokemon to the new active Pokemon. It's really cool. I definitely like the thought of it with Ho-Oh. I don't know how good it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is that it is an A-Spec, and you've got things like Dowsing Machine, you've got things like Poker, Computer Thingy,
Computer Search.
Computer Search. So I guess it's cool. Definitely will be great if you can draw it when you need it with things like Ho-Oh or anything with a big retreat cost. But I just think this, for the majority of decks, there's going to be better options.
Yeah, I agree. I think there might be a certain deck that just finds this as like the perfect card. Obviously, it pairs really well with Max Potion because you can drop it down and move all the energy, and then Max Potion the one on the bench. But yeah, it's good. I just think there's going to be better options for a lot of decks. So
yeah.
All right, next Dowsing Machine.
Discard 2 cards from your hand, then pick any trainer card from the discard pile and put it into your hand. It's really good. It's an A-Spec. I think I might like it more better than Computer Search, just because, honestly, you can probably get card from your deck as long as you're playing things like Heavy Ball and Level Ball.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably get one of them and then get the Pokemon you need anyway, if that's what you're going for. And if not, there's just so many more options. So it's really interesting that they brought Junkon back like this. They must have realized how ridiculously broken the card was.
Yeah. It can get supporters too. I think that needs to be said right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like,
So
if it couldn't, then Computer Search would definitely be the better choice. But since it can, it makes it a pretty tough choice actually, which one you'd rather have. So
yeah, gets back anything you need. So
yeah.
it's cool.
I can see Dark Ridex just abusing the hell out of this with Sableye. Or, I mean, really, Sableye could use Computer Search too, but it's just it's really good. I think it'll come down to this or Computer Search in most decks as far as A-Specs go. So.
And I think, well, no, don't worry. I was going to say something really dumb.
Okay.
Just ignore I said anything.
I think Computer Search is better early game, and this is better late game. That's the main difference I take from them. Because, with Junk Arm, sometimes when you had it in your hand, opening hand, there just wasn't anything you needed there. So, yeah, still, it's really good. Just anyhow. Next one, Victory Piece.
It's a tool card, and if this card attached to Victini can use its attacks without the necessary energy requirements. That's awesome.
Yep.
You can just attach this. It is an A-Spec, so it's going to be hard to get on Victini, and like we said, Victini's really only going to be good the first couple of turns. Second attack isn't good enough to hold it over the next few turns, and sending him out mid to late game will, in the majority of cases, be suicide, because they'll probably have already charged things up enough to want to KO you.
Yeah.
But if you can get Victini down with this thing turn 1, you can attach energies to other places and then another 2 energy. But I just think that the fact that Victini is only really going to be used early game, And the fact that you can only have one of these in your deck really limits it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It would have been. It's not like Victory Piece is really really good. It's just Victini that is not. So,
Yeah.
uh, um, which is too bad. And yeah, I can't see giving up computer search for a small chance to get this on turn one. Just not worth it.
But if they put it on any other EX, pretty much, it'd be absolutely broken.
Yeah.
So, at least they didn't do that, honestly.
All right, so we're at the full arts. Let's go through and pick our favorites, like we usually do. So here's a good
Victini,
look at Victini. I heard that they changed the company that actually did the full art for the cards.
really?
I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard it. Which I kind of
I
hope.
like the bow.
Yeah.
I think I like the normal art better.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll have to go down here. I gotta look at the full art one again. Way down here. Yeah, maybe. I do like the background a lot on the full art one though. But
Yeah.
the regular one, I do like the pose better. So
And I'm a sucker for the fire, like
on
looking
the edge.
across the card.
Mm.
So
All right.
yeah.
Next up, Articuno.
Articuno, it's another one. I like them both a lot,
Yeah.
but I think I might like Full Art just a little more.
I gotta scroll
Gotta
up
go look
here.
at it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really close. Probably Full Art. I just don't really like the look of Articuno a whole lot of the Full Art, but I like the background and the way it's posed and everything so much more. Well, not so much more, but I like that more. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with Full Art by
Yeah.
just a bit.
I like the full art better. I like the pose a lot. I like the little that you can see its little chest feathered puff thing. That's one of my favorite things about Articuno as a Pokemon. So I like that that's in there. I like the angle where it's kind of like it's obviously flying and the Team Plasma symbol is back there in the background. So I like the full art version a lot.
Okay.
Next up, Cobalion.
One sec. Where is it? Okay, there we go. I think I might like Full Art more.
Let me look.
Just gonna bring this one wants to load. Yeah, I like Full Art more.
I don't know. I don't actually care for either of them that much.
Me neither.
I think I might like the regular art better just because it's mid-charge and it's like really streamlined. Its head and its hoof are kind of both at the same angle, like it's charging into something. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's Full Art a little bit.
A little bit, but his legs aren't doing the thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I like Full Art.
All right,
It's cool.
Lugia.
Last one, Lugia. Full Art. I don't really even need to look at the standard art. I probably will, just quickly.
Yeah, I'll scroll back up to it.
I have a feeling that, where the hell is it? There we go. Yeah, I like Full Art. I like the idea of this normal art a little bit. I just a little bit all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah,
I can't really tell where its wings end and start.
yeah, I definitely like the full art one better too. Again, like they put it in the air. You have the little Team Plasma symbol in the background to kind of help define the angle of it. Definitely like the full art one better. So then we also have a full art Colress, which is cool. Full art Skyla, which is awesome. And shiny Charizard. Let's just talk about this for a second.
Sick.
This card is going to be so expensive. Oh my god.
So awesome though.
Yeah, I think the last shiny Charizard we had was in EX Power Keepers way back in the original EX series, I think, and that was like a $150 card. It's still over 100 even now.
It looks sick. It's
Yeah,
absolutely awesome.
I mean the art is amazing. It's freaking black Charizard. You don't even need to. So.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
Shiny Blastoise. It's cool.
I don't like it much.
I never
honestly,
liked that
like,
Blastoise was purple. His shiny color, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a weird like pink kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it.
The pose is cool.
Yeah,
I like the pose a lot, but
I don't like the background. I think they could have had done something better than
yeah.
just boring as they usually do. They could
Yep.
have had some sort of water actually in there, like they did with Charizard. So,
We have a golden random receiver. I don't really care about that. I mean, the catcher was cool because it's a catcher. It's like a giant middle finger every time you play anyhow. So having a gold one like accentuated that, but it doesn't have the same effect with a random receiver.
yep, I agree.
Then there are a couple more cards, the promos that we should talk about real quick.
Mhm.
At least just Plasma Ball. Um, I mean, Skarmory. Do you want to?
Um, it's cool. You just got one Team Plasma card from your hand and draw three. It's alright. And then Steel Wing, 40 damage during opponent's next turn. Any damage under Skarmory is reduced by 20. Honestly, if you're really going to want to use something like its first attack, use Brizzian.
Yeah. Boufflant.
Toolbreaker, discard all Pokemon tool cards attached. All. Oh, sorry, just discard
Just
all
to the
Pokemon
defending.
tools.
Yeah, I don't know why it
Attached
says
to
all
defending
Pokemon tools attached to the defending Pokemon. Like there
Seven
could be
tool
more than
cards.
one. It must be made for those people that will cheat on TCGO back when you could attach multiple tools. They knew
I think
they'd already
it's
had the Bouffant in the works to take care of them.
It might be a mistranslation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's
But,
all tools attached to all the Pokemon, that could be good.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's not so much.
Yeah,
Right.
nothing major.
Plasma Ball.
Search your deck for a Team Plasma Pokemon card, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Really good.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
mean-
going to be the search card in all Plasma decks.
Yep, it's just another piece of the awesome Plasma engine we got, so I think it's really good. And then we got another N. This is the fourth one.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
All right, and oh man, there's more. Okay, right. We also have Team Plasma's Power Half Deck. I don't know if we need to talk about any of these things though. If I remember, they were all really bad.
that's Kling Clang.
Oh yeah. All right. Where's he at? We
Talk about
Okay.
the one about him.
yeah. He's actually that's the only card we need to mention in this thing.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Kling
wait,
Clang.
hold on 1 second. Go.
Okay, so we got Kling Clang, the Stage 2, 140 HP Metal Team Plasma Pokemon. Its ability, Plasma Steel, prevents all damage done to your Metal Pokemon by attacks from your opponent EX Pokemon, which is really good. It's kind of like Sigilla, but it's over everything. So if they don't run more than they really need to run quite a few.
Yeah. It's like
non-EX
not
Pokemon.
just one. Yeah, they need a
Like,
bunch.
You can tack in a couple, but it's not like they do more damage.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like normal, except that once the second that thing's gone, you lose. There's not a whole lot of decks. A lot of decks, honestly, aren't really running too many EX attackers at the moment. And once this thing comes out, if you're running like something, if it's really gonna be like something like Eels, you're just gonna have to take in more Zekroms. So it's good, but it would have been a lot better last format. And then Heavy Bullet. 70 damage, flip a coin. If heads, it's attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It's nothing great. You're never really going to want to attack with it. It's just the ability, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think the ability is incredibly good. The only, I mean, you could, Darkrai, judging by the decks we have right now, Garchomp isn't really affected, but I don't know how good Garchomp is going to stay by the time we get this stuff. And then Darkrai, you have basically Hydreigon and Sigilyph doesn't do jack because it's Steel type, so everything resists him.
I
So
think I would have liked Clink Clank to have 150 HP because
Yeah.
it's such a Hydreigon and it's gone.
Yeah, that is probably a big point. Blastoise will probably run a fair number of non-EX attackers, or at least it can very easily. It's got a lot of options. I still think it's going to be really good, though. I think that
Yeah.
there's a lot of cards, or a lot of decks that are going to be forced to completely rethink what they would run. I mean, this, like, Ho-Oh just dies to this.
I think it's really like disruptive.
Yeah.
And it's going to absolutely destroy you if you're not prepared for it.
Yep.
But if you come run into the match reasonably prepared, knowing that this is one of the decks that you definitely will face, and you're prepared for it, I don't know how good a deck it's going to be because none of the Steel attack is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you do get, you get Cobalion EX.
Yeah.
You'll have that. There's Registeel, who's really good. So, and you can also pair this with the black and white Klinklang to get the max potion abuse going on too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the deck's going to be good. I don't know how good, but that ability is just way too good not to see some play. So,
Okay, cool.
anyhow, that is going to do it for this page. There's a couple more cards we got to look at real quick that are coming out in another deck. And they're all EXs, but none of them are very good. So, first up is going to be Zapdos EX.
Zapdos EX, agility, 30 damage, flip a coin of heads during your opponent's next turn, prevents all attacks. So it's pretty much like Blitzle's agility. And then power voltage, 80 plus. If this Pokemon has a plasma energy attached to it, does another 40. It's really, really bad.
Yeah,
Really bad.
I'll say the one thing it has going for it is that it resists fighting,
Yeah.
which is nice. And yeah, other than that, pretty mediocre. I would rather just play Zekrom, honestly.
Zekrom's better in every
Yeah.
single possible
You
way
know,
I can think of.
Zapdos doesn't hurt itself, which is nice, but Zekrom doesn't
Two
give up two prizes. So, yeah.
And it has a huge restrict cost, not restrict cost, sorry, a bigger attacking cost, which also is going to include a plasma if you're going to make it at all effective. So
Yep.
I don't
And
like it very much.
and Mewtwo is still a thing. So anything that attacks for 4 energy is just gets completely destroyed by Mewtwo.
Yep.
So, alright, next, Black Kyurem EX, the second one, not the one we have in Boundaries Crossed.
Black Jeremy X, is it? Yeah, it's cool. For 3 colors, it does 60, and then Black Balissa, for 2 water, a lightning, and a colorless, it does 200, and you discard 3 energy attached to this Pokemon. It's really cool. I actually really like this card. It's cool with Blastoise if you can get those energy back. 200 damage is a really, really nice amount.
Yeah, 200 is great.
Yeah, it's just one encountering EXs pretty much almost all the time. There's not a whole lot they can do to stop that. So, it's really cool. It's definitely going to be, well, not definitely going to be played, but I think it's going to be a tech option, an actual playable card. The best part about this card, I think, is the fact that it's a spec card, isn't the one that boosts damage.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure this is the one that
But it gives it 300 hit points.
300 hit points. So you can have a 300 hit point card that does 200 each turn. It's pretty scary. But the attack cost is just so all over the place.
Yeah.
That really might slow it down.
I think this is the best EX out of the 4 we have on this page. As in, it's the only one that has any potential to even be used. I would not play the A-Spec, especially in Blastoise. I'd much rather have Computer Search in Blastoise to get Blastoise up. But at least it can actually attack fast in a Blastoise deck and kills everything in one shot. So I could see it as a one-of in there. I mean, hitting for 200 damage is just good, and its typing works where it's got energy acceleration. All you need is either a lightning or a blend, and you're good to go. You can just drop them down and hit for 200 out of nowhere, which is really strong. So definitely got potential. Next, Moltres EX.
Moltres, Destruct Flame, 30, flip a coin if heads, discard an energy attached to a defending Pokemon. It's pretty cool first attack, I guess. And then Power Flame for 2 fire, and 2 colorless with 80, and if Pokemon has a Plasma energy, another 40. Worst version of Zapdos. Zapdos at least has probably the best energy acceleration.
Yeah.
And Moltres, I guess, has some energy acceleration and more, but 120 is just not enough.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it in the Reshiram EX Rayquaza deck. I'm using with Emble just because it's fun, and 120. I think this might be better than Reshiram.
I think that's what I was just about to say. Like, at least it's better than Reshiram.
Yeah.
The thing with Electric is that we have so many good Electric attackers. And with Fire, we really don't. It's Reshiram EX and regular Reshiram, and Reshiram EX is kind of terrible. So, at least it's that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Um,
I'm just,
yeah, anyway, I actually really like it just because, like you were saying, there's no attackers for fire, and I think something like this Embor and then Rayquaza, which I've been testing, even if it's not a tier 1 deck, that deck is so much fun.
yeah.
Just super fun, so I definitely think I'm going to try and grab a couple of these and chuck them in there at the
Yeah.
restroom, because 150 is just nothing. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
You overkill absolutely everything.
And then you hurt yourself.
Yeah, and then you hurt yourself. So.
And then Mewtwo kills you.
Exactly.
All right.
It's annoying in the world.
And the last one, we have White Kyurem EX.
Again, slash for 60, and then White Rage 100 plus.
So let's just stop and appreciate the name of the attack for a minute. White Rage. Yeah,
it's amazing.
anyhow.
Well, Kyurem.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Anyway, we're ready now.
Yeah.
So White Rage 100 plus damage. The attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. It's really cool. It's just not super playable, I don't think.
Nope.
But yeah, I think it's really cool. That's all I'll give it.
You can get like 150 base if you use the A-Spec, but it just has a terrible typing for that kind of attack. Garchomp, Rayquaza, Black Kyurem, like everything, Giratina, they all kill it in one hit, and then you don't get to use your attack. So, yeah, I don't think it's very good.
To do any real damage, it needs damage on it.
Yeah,
which
it's never good.
I just don't like those attacks very much.
Me either. So.
Especially when, like you were saying, they don't have a decent second attack to help them out.
So, all right, well that is going to do it, guys. Thanks for watching. These are always pretty long, but they're really fun for us to do, so hopefully you guys enjoy them. Check out both of our channels. I'll leave a link in the description to Sam's channel, so go sub to him if you haven't done that. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
See you guys.
Later.